Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I know I've been a bit silent, but I'm back, and Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is releasing in cinemas in the UK in December 19th. And I thought we would do a top 5 Star Wars stories that you should read before going to see the film. Obviously, catching up on all the films would be great. Watching episodes 1 through 9 would be great. Would be a great way to catch up. But I thought I'm big into my Star Wars canon material. I read a lot of the books. I read a lot of the comics. I always try and keep up to date with everything. So the first sort of book that you should read, top 5, at number 5, is a book called Star Wars Bloodline. I have the Amazon page up here. Star Wars Bloodline is set in between Star Wars The Force Awakens and Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. And I'll read you the synopsis here. There might be potential spoilers here if you are going to read the book. Witness the birth of the Resistance. When the rebellion defeated the Empire in the skies above Endor, Leia Organa believed it was the beginning to a lasting peace. But after decades of vicious infighting and partisan gridlock in the New Republic Senate, that hope seems like a distant memory. Now, a respected senator, Leia must grapple with the dangers that threaten to cripple the fledgling democracy from both within and without. Underground kingpins, treacherous politicians, and imperial loyalists are sowing chaos in the galaxy. Desperate to take action, senators are calling for the election of a first senator. It is their hope that this influential post will bring strong leadership to a divided galaxy. As the daughter of Darth Vader, Leia faces with distrust the prospect of any one person holding such a powerful position, even when supporters suggest Leia herself for the job. But a new enemy may make this path Leia's only option, for at the edge of the galaxy, a mysterious threat is growing. Now, in this book, it's political heavy. I've read it. It's very political heavy, but it is so good, and it has a galaxy-shattering moment in it. And I'm like, reading the book, you're like, why is this not in a film? Spoilers, but the galaxy does find out that Leia is Darth Vader's daughter. And I think that is also going to play a role that is also going to be mentioned in Rise, which is great. I do love it when the films actually reference these books and these kind of material. Yeah, this book, you see Leia find out firsthand about the First Order, and she also forms the Resistance at the end of the book. She recruits characters from the Aftermath trilogy, like Snap Wexley and the General Akbar. Akbar plays a really big role in this book. Come towards the sort of the third half, but it's really good, political heavy. It's Star Wars politics done correctly. Looking at you, prequels. But moving on to the next book. That is our only Star Wars canon material not set in between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. So from here onwards, if you want to prepare and you want to read most of the canon material between The Last Jedi and Rise, this is where you should go from. So we're going for Star Wars Poe Dameron Volume 5. Now, this is a comic book released by Marvel. It's the final Star Wars Poe Dameron comic book that they released in the 25, I think it's 25 issues. So Lor San Tekka has been found. Now Poe Dameron is off to recover the missing link to legendary Jedi Master Luke Skywalker's whereabouts. But his plan goes astray when the First Order intervenes on Jakku. Meanwhile, the rest of Black Squadron takes off on their most daring mission yet. Follow everyone's favourite Resistance crew as Poe Dameron tells Rey and Finn all about his unseen adventures during the events of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Now, this comic book, the first half, it begins literally seconds after The Last Jedi. Rey, Finn, and Poe are not Rose. Are just sitting in the Falcon, and they are they discuss events like the Battle of Krayt. They discuss the lightsaber that was destroyed, and Poe tells the story of how he escapes Jakku. It's It's really good. It's really good. And then the first half, you see Black Squadron's mission, what they were doing during the events of The Last Jedi. Because as you know, if you've seen The Last Jedi, Snap Wexley and Jessica Pava and all those guys were not in The Last Jedi. You see what they were doing. They were doing other stuff. They're trying to find allies. But the mission goes wrong as the First Order sort of... I think they sort of ambush them. So the fledgling resistance crew go to try and help them out. It's really good. It is the first piece of canon material that was released post Last Jedi. So it is actually set seconds after The Last Jedi. I really recommend reading it. It is really, really good. Really good. It's just nice to read, and it also fills in some gaps in episode 7. So if you had it fills in a lot of plot hole. Well, not a lot of plot holes. I don't think there's a lot of plot holes in that film, but it just gives added information on information on that film, which is great. So for number 3, I actually have with me. It is this book here, Star Wars: Spark of the Resistance. Now, this is part of the Journey to the Rise of Skywalker range of books that was released it was released in the US a few months ago, but they've just released in the UK. But this one it's a young reader's novel, so prepare for it to be sort of tailored to a child market. It's sort of like 8 years and up. So I'll read you the blurbs I have done for the previous ones. A call for help that only heroes can answer. Rey, Poe, Rose, and BB-8 receive a distress call from the planet Minfar. Although they have orders to return to the Resistance immediately, Rey and the others decide they can't ignore someone in need. When they arrive on Minfar, they are greeted by the Zixen, a peaceful, warm-hearted species who are now at risk of falling to the First Order. Despite being vastly outnumbered by First Order forces, Rey and her friends vow that they will fight to protect the Zixen, or what does the Resistance stand for? Rey, Poe, Rose, and BB-8 will have to face stormtroopers, deadly flying creatures, and even a Star Destroyer to keep Minfar safe and strike a blow against the First Order. Yeah, so this book it's really short. I mean, I've nearly finished it actually. I'm about halfway through. It's 224 pages long, so it's quite short. So you can get through it in a day or two. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's just sort of okay. It's if you want to read it, I wouldn't say this one is required reading, but it is part of the Journey to the Rise of Skywalker range of books that they have released. But it's great to see Rey, Poe, and Rose together. We haven't had them together in sort of canon material. Even in the films, they haven't been together, which is sort of a shame. I'm glad. It's one of the things I'm most looking forward to in Rise of Skywalker is is seeing them all together. Which I wish they would have been in episode 8. Maybe, yeah, but we all know how that went down. I mean, I am a fan of episode 8, but we won't get into the episode 8 politics, shall we? So yeah, that was Spark of the Resistance. It's okay. It's good. Got some great moments in there. It's nice to see some of our characters together and working together. So here we have another Journey to the Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker release from Marvel. This is Star Wars Allegiance. Now I would say that it releases in the UK on November 19th, but I have read it. It's released in single issues. Wow. It's released in single issues in it was released in single issues in October, which is great. So I've had the chance to read it, and it is really good. These next two, I would say, are required reading if you really like. And I know most film goers don't want to read the books or get in, aren't as invested in this universe as I am. But yeah, I would say read the books. Read these two. Star Wars Allegiance, I will read you the blurb. Before the exciting events of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, hounded by the First Order across the galaxy, the Resistance is in dire need of ships, weapons, and recruits to make a final stand against Kylo Ren's forces. Desperation drives a delegation led by General Leia Organa and Rey to entreat the rebel veterans' one-time allies. the Mon Calamari, to join the fight. But decades after Imperial occupation enslaved their planet, there are those willing to stop at nothing to prevent another war from bloodying the waters of Mon Cala. A system away, Poe Dameron and Finn have their own mission, to hunt down a weapons cache on the remote moon of Avdot. Avdot. Never knew how to pronounce that. Unaware that they are being hunted by the most notorious criminal gang in the galaxy. Now, this book is really good. It's 4 issues long, so it wouldn't take you long to get through it. It's another comic book. Really, really great stuff. We see our Resistance base. We see where their current base is. We see Rey struggle with the Force. We see it's set, I would say, about a month after The Last Jedi. I mean, I forgot to mention that Spark of the Resistance is set quite a while after The Last Jedi, because it mentions something that happens in this comic book series, which is the Resistance gains a fleet of ships, which we see in the trailer, so this technically isn't spoilers, that we see in the trailer for The Rise of Skywalker. The Mon Calamari eventually do supply some ships to them. We also meet Aftab Akbar, who is going to be playing a role in the film. We know he's in the trailer, which is Admiral Akbar's son, which is great that they are doing that, because one of the things I hate about The Last Jedi is Akbar's death, and I will never forgive Rian Johnson for that stupendous decision. I mean, and just him dying in the background of a scene. Just if you read canon material like me, and you just are so into this universe, and you know the role that Akbar plays in loads of canon material, loads of these books, the Aftermath trilogy, Bloodline, all this stuff, then his death is just so disrespectful to the character and to Star Wars, really. Yes, this comic book is really good. I would say it wouldn't take long to get through. Required reading for you all. We see the Resistance gain a fleet. Kylo Ren plays a little role. We get Hux. We see the First Order completely destroy a planet. We really see that they are on the war footing. They are not just trying to occupy planets. They are completely destroying them, destroying civilizations, which is great. I love it. So for number 1, I would say this is complete required reading for anybody going into this film. Please read this book. I have it here. Star Wars Resistance Reborn. Now, this is set during a week's period from when The Last Jedi ends, the week after. It's in one space of a week. This book is the Avengers Endgame of Star Wars. Everybody comes together. That call for help that Leia puts out at the end of The Last Jedi, this is where it is answered. This book, loads of returning characters are mentioned. Loads of returning characters come back. One of the main returning characters who I'm so excited to see in Rise is on the cover. Yes, that is correct. Wedge Antilles is back in this book, playing a large role. Probably the best X-Wing pilot, Poe, I'm sorry, is back in this book. If you're a fan of the Aftermath trilogy, we get Nora Wexley back. Yes. It is like, if you read the Aftermath trilogy, Bloodline, Last Shot, and then this book, they all sort of go together. This book is the culmination of 4 years' worth of canon material. I will read you the blurb. The heroes of the Resistance must fight back from the edge of oblivion in this pivotal prequel to Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. The Resistance is in ruins. In the wake of their harrowing escape from Crate, what was once an army has been reduced to a handful of wounded heroes. Finn, Poe, Rey, Rose, Chewbacca, Leia Organa, their names are famous among the oppressed worlds they fight to liberate. But names can only get you so far, and Leia's last desperate call for aid has gone unanswered. From the jungles of Ryloth to the shipyards of Corellia, the shadow of the First Order looms large, and those with the bravery to face the darkness are scattered and isolated. If hope is to survive, the Resistance must journey throughout the galaxy, seeking out more leaders, including those who in days gone by helped a nascent rebellion topple an empire. Battles will be fought, alliances will be forged, and the Resistance will be reborn. That's all I'm going to say about this book. This is the one book that I do not want to reveal any spoilers for. It is required reading for the film, it tells you a lot, and it's a shame if you don't go out and buy this book and invest. So that is it. Top 5 Star Wars canon material stories that you should read before watching the film. Do you have any favourite canon material? Which one was your favourite on this list? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I hope to see you later on. Goodbye.